Ready to Love fans, Miami is heating up. It's getting hot, hot, hot with the drama unfolding. We actually have a rift between two women over Blake. Someone gets slighted, and with someone self eliminating, it opens the door for new connections. Welcome back to Romance Review TV. It's Lady T, and I got another recap for you guys. Ready to Love Season 7, Episode number 4, Advocate Sue. And without any further ado, let's talk about what's going on in Miami. We can see that we are still so early in this season, and there are a lot of romantic connections forming. However, it also is bringing all sorts of drama. But we got to start here first. Unfortunately, Andre not only got COVID, but he also self-eliminated.
My brother Andre has tested positive for COVID. So, out of respect for you all, he decided to step away from the process. Oh, wow.
And hopefully by now he feels better. However, with Cynthia, she lost her main connection that she was invested in. And then we did see, luckily though, Anthony swooped in and gets her attention before anyone else could, which ends up a win for him. But he isn't alone in changing things a bit as well. We also saw how Mark Anthony wins over Jeffri in a big way, of course, leading to Demario moving down a notch in her top 3. But even with Mark Anthony publicly making it clear that he has an interest in Jeffri, even kissing her on the lips and rubbing her feet before he did Mercedes, I don't think Mercedes is worried. I mean, she may not have another visible connection, but she feels very secure, which isn't a universal feeling, but there are those given the kind of attention which makes them feel somewhat safe. Let's take Jonique, for example. She only gets Tony attention, but one guy being invested is good enough if he's serious. Then with Morgan, while she likes Tony, he doesn't pursue her the way she wants him to or feel that she deserves to be pursued. So, despite curbing him before, she turns around and claims that Lyndon is the hottest guy in the competition, likely upsetting Tony more than to praise Lyndon. Which leaves us with Corvea. Now, Demario has been hyping what they could be for a while, and with sitting down and talking, you can see it. However, Corvea finally gets to open up and explain her seeking a certain lifestyle and status is because she grew up poor and has no desire to end up with someone who either reminds her of that life or could bring her right back to that point. Hence, rejecting Lyndon for him, having a roommate likely triggers the idea of a whole struggle situation. Now we get into a little bit of drama, murky waters while on this cruise. So with Jeffri saying to the group that Blake already chose her, is possessive of her, and don't want anyone else, rub Sue-Ann the wrong way. However, with him being in the bottom twice, it seems to make Blake do something different this time. So first he buys a very shiny gift for Sue-Ann to thank her for going to bat for him. Following that, probably production likely told him to have a conversation with Jeffri, but with it being clear that Jeffri didn't want to talk about it, Blake stumbles to get her to say what happened and try, I guess, to get this whole thing started.
Found a little disturbing. I was a little surprised by it.
Okay.
And I'm a little hurt by it.
Hurt?
And I wanted to present that to you.
Okay, and what was said to you?
I don't want to get into the feedback.
Well, so how am I going to answer your question?
I'm just sitting here and letting you know that I just felt the type of way about something that may have been said.
And what was that?
Do you know what was said?
I need to know exactly what you're referencing. So can you again tell me where you were hurt?
I would prefer not to get into.
So you're hurt and you're disturbed, but yet you can't bring up the things that you're hurt.
Being that I was not there.
Okay.
There are some things that I heard.
Okay, are you ready to reveal that or not? What are you hearing? Why are you talking with me right now?
Good question. Good question. I probably should.
So you want me to figure out what's wrong with you?
No, I don't.
Telling me.
What you to do is we'll agree to just leave it alone.
Okay.
Well, we all know what was said because of what she said in the previous episode. However, with him doing this and knowing that he heard what happened from the lounge somewhere, Jeffri decides to confront Sue-Ann, who goes to bat for the only man right now that she's really investing her time into. And yeah, it doesn't get any better, and DeMario might as well grab his popcorn.
Tell other women things that he doesn't want, like if he compliments you. Yeah. It's not coming from an authentic place because he knows what he wants. Okay. My thing is I don't have an issue of you feeling like I'm your one. Right. Where I draw the line is where you're telling me you're going to be not authentic with these women.
Are you sure you interpreted what he said correctly? Because when I told him the feedback from the lounge, he said he never said that he chose you.
Blake was a wild card going back from the beginning of the night of the mixer. He's arguing with women, but immediately I see a cape flying from the side, and here comes Sue as an advocate flying in for Blake. I mean, I'm looking for the wind and everything. She just needs her cape.
So you seem to have more of an explanation than Blake. So for me,
I don't have the explanation.
Okay.
I'm just explaining to you. I gave him the feedback from the
So
lounge,
for Blake,
which
honestly,
specifically was, you said Blake advised me that I was his woman.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And the thing is, with Sue-Ann, it's admirable, but, you can tell that she is defending someone she likes, but is on shaky ground with everybody else. However, with Jeffri not pulling out the receipts, while, maybe it looks bad in Jeffri's eyes, Jeffri not coming up with that information doesn't look good on her either. Which Suzanne questions whether Jeffri is actually ready to love or ready to lie.
Doesn't affect my connection with him. I think some of us are dead this journey, ready to love, and I feel like Jeffri is ready to lie.
This is why when you put accusations out there, it's good to actually have concrete evidence in these cases, because other than that, it's just conjecture and hearsay. And in the meantime, DeMario is just enjoying the entertainment. So, outside all that drama, Blue and Marcia goes on a date with her, noting that she does not like outdoor activities. No fishing, no hunting, no hiking. After that, he withdrew his interest. And between Tony and Morgan wants to love Tony, but with never being in love, she's scared about letting herself go. Yet, with her not outright rejecting Tony and breaking things off, it seems she might be a little suspicious, but still wants to be in consideration for his top three. Okay, it's time for the men to deliberate, and it's time for elimination, and he meet with all of the guys. Now, with DeMario being upset that Jeffri and Mark Anthony kissed, and he's all in on Corvea, and with her in the bottom two, he is ready to use the lifeline. No one seems to agree with this, but DeMario acting so passionately, Marcia giving homie vibes, get her in the bottom three, and Jeffri's comments and just not giving the time of day to some of these guys bring her up for elimination as well. And it left us with this whole argument between the men. We don't know what they decided because it left us with this cliffhanger. But, I mean, who do you guys think? I mean, it could be that based on the previews, she and Sue-Ann is definitely going to have more rounds. So we probably know that Jeffri is safe. As for Marcia and Corvea, it's hard to say if DeMario was able to save her or allowed himself to be outvoted. Okay, so what do you guys think could happen next with the bottom two with the men? Of course, Blake is probably going to be back in that position again. Maybe DeMario alongside. Of course, we know Blake because he only has one connection with Sue-Ann, and DeMario for the same reason. But Blake, could it possibly be where he get kicked off as he only has one ally, and of course the other women are not vibing with him, but he only needs the one connection? And then with the women, with that cliffhanger, it's hard to say. I mean, Corvea, Janique, and Marcia are who seem to be the least invested in when it comes to who the men want to be in a relationship with. So 2 of these 3 will probably be in the bottom 2 the next go around, especially if Corvea or Marcia is eliminated. And then the final couples, from what we're seeing, possibly Mark Anthony and Mercedes, Cynthia with someone, and then maybe Tony and Morgan. I just have to say this. When you start to solidify solid couples that you want to build a relationship with and who you could see yourself on the outside with, this show has to take cues from some of the other shows, allowing them to couple up. Because voting against somebody, which is what we saw in the lounge with the men, if you have each one of those guys have one solid connection, they're not eventually going to vote for the other women. At some point, it has to end where you have to narrow it down to who you want to pursue and build something with, which is, I've always had a problem with this show. None of the other shows that I have reviewed, at least with The Bachelor, he's circular or she's circular dates with the number of women, but they're eliminated week by week because it's only one guy or one woman choosing one guy or one woman. Same thing with Love Island. They're coupled up early so you can build a connection. Yes, they throw bombshells in there, turn your head, whatnot. But at the end of the day, you're coupled up to build a connection. And sometimes they have a twist where people are voted in and out. But this situation with Ready to Love, I start to see couples forming, and because maybe somebody else don't want to date the couple that you're in, they could be eliminated, which is why for this particular show, most of the relationships form outside of the show. I don't know how many couples that we've had, and I think it's like 6 of them from this show, that actually formed outside of the show versus leaving the show staying a couple. So they need to look at that, or do they really even want couples to come out of the show? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just want the drama. So that's just my quick rant right now for that. But let me know your thoughts. So let's get the conversation started down in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed this recap. Stay tuned for other recaps on this channel. And until the next video, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Bye.